Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 22nd of October, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 fell 1.7% today to finish just over 8,200 points. There was plenty of red on the market. 80% of companies ended the day lower. Worries about higher interest rates? That's really what sparked the selling. Will consumers keep spending? Will businesses keep investing? There were big falls among most of the large caps, 2 to 3% drops from Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank, Macquarie, Wesfarmers, Goodman and Aristocrat Leisure. The rate-sensitive sectors did worst: healthcare, real estate, discretionary, that's consumer discretionary, and financials. A little bit of corporate news around, in fact, lots of corporate news around. Mineral Resources fell another 4%. Following yesterday's 13% loss. That's on the back of news that Managing Director Chris Ellison allegedly evaded tax for many years. Transurban today said average daily traffic was up 1.1% during the September quarter to 2.5 million trips per day. There's growth across all markets except Melbourne. And property developer Mirvac said it's making solid residential sales in its new Sydney projects and in Brisbane and Perth. Even Victoria is improving. Story number 2, Australia will spend $7 billion buying long-range missiles from the US to strengthen its defence capabilities. Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy overnight said that the world faces the biggest arms race since World War II. Hundreds of US-made long-range weapons for the Navy will be purchased. They can be fired from land or ship. They're capable of targeting and destroying aircraft and incoming missiles. Defence spending is rising fast in this country, $100 billion a year by the end of the decade, they reckon. That's about double the current levels. Story number 3, Australia's third largest company, CSL, today said it has dropped studies or trials on 3 therapies, and US regulators have raised concerns around manufacturing of another new treatment. It was enough to send CSL's share price down 3%. Now, the Food and Drug Administration in the US is concerned about the manufacturing of an antibody supposedly able to treat severe swelling. Then CSL's decided to also drop trials on an anticoagulant for the treatment of trauma, a muscle inflation treatment, and a treatment targeting kidney transplant recipients. The reasons, basically regulatory scrutiny and also the time taken to get any of these to market. The head of research at CSL basically said when you take risks, this is what happens sometimes. Story number 5, Viva Energy has downgraded its outlook on the back of softer retail conditions, lower tobacco sales and higher business costs, triggering a near 7% drop in its share price, worst on the bourse today. Viva owns the Geelong oil refinery. It also licenses the Shell brand. It owns and sells via Coles Express, and it's got those on-the-run businesses out of South Australia. Servos now are as much about high-margin convenience retailing as they are about low-margin fuel. While fuel sales are growing slightly, quick service restaurants turnover and convenience turnover was down. In fact, it would have been flat but for tobacco sales, mostly because there's this growing illicit tobacco trade going on and it's hurting sales in the convenience stores, particularly in South Australia, in Viva's case, where it recently bought those on-the-run convenience stores. And story number 5, Wisetech Global founder and CEO Richard White has settled his legal dispute with Sydney wellness entrepreneur Linda Rogan. The dispute was over Mr. White trying to bankrupt his former alleged lover. It triggered a bunch of other allegations. Mr. White apparently, well, at least it's alleged, paid millions to privately settle a dispute with another woman he had a sexual relationship with. He was also allegedly approached female entrepreneurs on social media with offers of professional support that could later shift to crude or suggestive language. That has really hurt the share price. It tumbled in recent sessions. Now, it fell 2% this morning, but then it bounced to finish up 3%. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 22nd of October, 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.